In the shadowy world of advanced military technology, few weapons command as much awe and trepidation as the GBU-57 Massive Ordnance Penetrator, or MOP. This is not just another bomb, it is a symbol of overwhelming power, a key designed to unlock the world's most fortified secrets. It represents a promise and a threat, engineered for a very specific and terrifying purpose, to reach targets buried deep beneath the earth, hidden under layers of rock and reinforced concrete. For years, nations have built underground fortresses believing them to be invulnerable to conventional attack. The GBU-57 was developed to prove that belief wrong. It is America's answer to the challenge of deeply buried threats, a tool of last resort for the most critical missions. The strategic importance of the MOP cannot be overstated. It exists to hold at risk the assets that adversaries value most, from command centers to weapons of mass destruction facilities. Its very existence is a form of deterrence, sending a clear signal that there is no place to hide. Before the events of June 21, 2025, the GBU-57 was a weapon of theory and speculation, its full potential confined to test ranges in the American desert. Now it has been unleashed, and its use has irrevocably altered the landscape of global security. The decision to deploy such a formidable weapon marks a new chapter in modern conflict, where the line between conventional and overwhelming force has become perilously thin. The story of the MOP is intertwined with the geopolitical tensions of the 21st century. As countries like Iran and North Korea moved their most sensitive nuclear programs into deep underground bunkers, the United States military faced a daunting problem. How could it neutralize a threat it could not reach? The answer came from the laboratories of the U.S. Air Force and the engineers at Boeing. They were tasked with creating a non-nuclear weapon that could replicate the penetrative force needed to destroy these subterranean sanctuaries. The result was the GBU-57, a weapon so massive and powerful that only one aircraft in the U.S. arsenal is capable of carrying it. Yesterday, on June 21, 2025, this theoretical power became a devastating reality. The world watched as the United States deployed the MOP for the first time in combat, targeting Iran's most protected nuclear sites. The strikes were a demonstration of a capability that few nations possess, intended to send a shockwave not just through the ground in Iran, but through the strategic calculations of leaders across the globe. This single act has thrust the GBU-57 from the classified files of the Pentagon into the global spotlight, making it the focal point of an urgent and high-stakes international crisis. The world is now grappling with the consequences of its power. To understand the GBU-57's power, one must first appreciate its sheer scale. It is a true giant among conventional munitions. The bomb measures over 20 feet long, roughly the length of a large truck, and has a diameter of about 31.5 inches. Its immense size is matched by its staggering weight, tipping the scales at approximately 30,000 pounds or 15 tons. Of that total weight, more than 5,300 pounds is a payload of advanced high explosives designed for maximum destructive effect deep underground. This combination of size and explosive power is what sets the MOP apart from any other bunker-busting weapon in the world. It is a weapon built not just to damage, but to completely obliterate. The design of the GBU-57 is a masterclass in physics and engineering, focused on a single goal: penetration. Its long, narrow body is made from a special high-strength steel alloy, allowing it to maintain its structural integrity as it smashes through earth and concrete. It is guided by a sophisticated GPS system, ensuring it strikes its target with pinpoint accuracy after being released from high altitude. This precision is critical, as the bomb must hit the exact spot on the surface to begin its journey to the deeply buried facility below. The MOP is not a crude instrument, it is a highly advanced, precision-guided weapon built for a surgical, albeit incredibly forceful strike. The bomb's destructive magic lies in its ability to harness kinetic energy. When dropped from the bomb bay of a B-2 Spirit stealth bomber, the MOP accelerates to an incredible velocity. Upon impact, this immense momentum drives the bomb deep into the ground. It can tear through up to 200 feet of 5,000 psi reinforced concrete, the kind of material used to build dams and nuclear bunkers. For targets buried under natural terrain, it can penetrate as deep as 80 to 90 meters. After it has burrowed deep into the earth and reached its target, a delayed action fuse ignites the massive explosive warhead, creating a catastrophic underground blast that causes tunnels and chambers to collapse from within. Because of its colossal size and weight, only one aircraft in the U.S. inventory has the capacity to deliver the GBU-57, the B-2 Spirit stealth bomber. The B-2's cavernous bomb bays can carry two of these massive weapons. This exclusive pairing is a strategic choice. The B-2's stealth characteristics allow it to fly undetected through even the most advanced enemy air defenses, ensuring that the MOP can be delivered to its target without warning. This combination of a stealthy delivery platform and an unstoppable penetrator gives the United States a unique and unparalleled capability to strike any target, anywhere in the world, no matter how well it is hidden or defended. The world awoke to the news on the morning of June 21, 2025. Under the cover of darkness, the United States, in a coordinated operation with Israel, had launched a massive assault on Iran's nuclear infrastructure. The primary targets were three of the most sensitive and heavily fortified sites in the country: the Fordow Fuel Enrichment Plant, the Natanz Enrichment Complex, and the Isfahan Nuclear Research Center. It was a swift and overwhelming attack, employing a range of advanced weaponry. U.S. Navy submarines fired over 30 Tomahawk cruise missiles, but the centerpiece of the operation was the combat debut of the GBU-57 MOP, delivered by a flight of 6 B-2 Spirit bombers that had flown from bases thousands of miles away. The most challenging target was Fordow, a facility built deep inside a mountain, approximately 90 meters underground. It was long considered impervious to conventional airstrikes. This is where the MOP was called upon to do what no other weapon could. A dozen of the 30,000-pound bombs were dropped on the site, their impacts creating seismic shocks felt for miles. 2 more were used against the hardened underground sections of Natanz. The mission was confirmed to the world not through military channels, but through a direct social media post from the commander-in-chief. President Donald Trump tweeted bluntly, "America has acted decisively to ensure Iran's nuclear ambitions are stopped. The world is safer tonight." The facilities, he later declared, were completely and totally obliterated. In the immediate aftermath, U.S. intelligence agencies scrambled to assess the damage. Initial satellite imagery painted a picture of utter devastation. At Fordow, the images revealed massive craters and what appeared to be collapsed tunnel entrances, suggesting the underground chambers had caved in. Similar destruction was visible at Natanz and Isfahan. While the International Atomic Energy Agency and neighboring Gulf states reported no immediate spike in off-site radiation levels, the physical destruction was undeniable. The strikes had achieved their primary objective, the neutralization of Iran's key nuclear facilities, at least for the foreseeable future. The message sent by the deep craters was as powerful as the explosions themselves. Iran's response was swift and furious. Its Atomic Energy Agency decried the attack as a savage assault and blatant and illegal aggression, vowing that its nuclear program would continue. Iranian officials threatened retaliation, including the potential closure of the strategically vital Strait of Hormuz, and immediately called for an emergency meeting of the UN Security Council. Across the region, tension soared. Air raid sirens blared in Israel and Jordan, and the United States began evacuating citizens. The strikes represented a dramatic escalation in the long-simmering conflict, pushing the Middle East to the brink of a much wider and more dangerous war. The use of the GBU-57 on Iranian soil has sent shockwaves through the international community, drawing a stark line between allies and adversaries. The reaction was immediate and deeply polarized. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu hailed the American action, calling it a historic move to protect the world from a nuclear-armed Iran, and praising President Trump's decisive leadership. This sentiment, however, was not widely shared. From Latin America, leaders in Cuba, Chile, and Venezuela issued strong condemnations, branding the strikes as an act of imperialist aggression. The Palestinian group Hamas also denounced the attack, aligning itself with Iran against what it called a joint U.S.-Israeli assault. Caught in the middle were nations and international bodies urging caution and a return to peaceful resolution. The United Nations Secretary-General expressed grave concern over the escalation, calling on all parties to exercise maximum restraint and avoid any further actions that could destabilize the region. This call for de-escalation was echoed by countries like Colombia and Mexico, who emphasized the urgent need for diplomacy to prevail over military conflict. The world now watches nervously, as the international reaction highlights the deep geopolitical fault lines that have been violently exposed by the deployment of America's most powerful conventional bomb. Ultimately, the GBU-57 MOP is more than just a piece of military hardware. It is a profound statement of American power and technological supremacy. Its successful use against the Fordow facility demonstrated a capability that was once only theoretical, the ability to destroy any adversary's most deeply buried and protected assets with a non-nuclear weapon. This serves as a powerful deterrent, sending a chilling message to other nations with ambitions of building clandestine weapons programs in underground bunkers. The message is clear: there is no sanctuary, no fortress is deep enough, no bunker strong enough to be safe from the reach of the massive Ordnance Penetrator. However, this demonstration of power comes with significant risks. The use of the MOP has established a new and dangerous precedent in modern warfare, blurring the lines of conventional conflict and potentially lowering the threshold for the use of overwhelming force in future crises. It raises critical questions about proportionality, international law, and the future of global security. While the GBU-57 may be the most powerful non-nuclear weapon in the world, its deployment has ignited a firestorm of controversy and pushed a volatile region closer to all-out war. The long-term consequences of unleashing this titan are yet to be seen, but one thing is certain: the world of June 22, 2025 is a far more dangerous place.